Welcome to Baraton TV, Here and Hereafter. This is your favorite program, One on One, and today we have a powerful guest. This is not just an ordinary guest, he's coming to us from a very high level of our church. And I'm going to ask him to introduce himself. He is an associate treasurer of West Kenya Union Conference. What are your names, my brother?
My name is Jared Cheruiyot.
Jared Cheruiyot.
Yes.
You are in the treasury.
Yes.
Today we want to talk about treasury business.
All right.
Yes. We want our viewer to understand what happens in the treasury. So what's your training?
I am a trained accountant.
Okay.
I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. And then I have a master's degree, an MBA in financial management.
Okay.
I'm currently pursuing my PhD in finance.
In finance?
Yes.
So you are academically prepared in accounting issues?
Yes.
Now tell us, Brother Jared, how long have you worked for the church?
This is my 11th year now.
This is your 11th year working for the church?
Yes.
And so you understand finances?
I have some experience.
Now in the church, we collect money every Saturday.
Yes, we do.
This money is called tithe, and we also call it offering.
Yes.
And our viewer may not even know the difference. What's the difference between a tithe and offering? This one we put, you know, the bag passes every Sabbath. Sometimes there are churches who have begun a new culture where they put a bag at the front there. Then people take the money there either in a bag or a box.
Yes.
But the money we take there is either tithe or offering. What's the difference? Just briefly.
Thank you. God instituted a system of supporting his work. And he does that by allowing us to give or return a faithful tithe and give offering, a liberal offering.
Yes.
So a tithe basically means 10% of your increase or income.
Yes.
So if you earn whatever you may earn from a business, you just calculate 10% of the gross, then you bring it to church.
That is tithe.
That is tithe.
So any income.
Any income, any
of course,
increase
we need to stretch that income to include the pocket money that parents give students.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's income.
Yes. Anything that you have control over.
And sometimes people get gifts.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, somebody comes and say, you are a good man. Gives you an amount of money to appreciate you. That gift, which you are free to use, is income.
Is income.
10% of it.
10%, which is within your own power to spend.
Within your own power.
That
means I cannot take, if you cannot send me with the school fees.
Yes.
You tell me this school fees is for my son. Yes. Can you go pay for my son fees?
Yes.
Then I say, oh, I have money here. Let me get tithe. No.
That is not your income.
It's not my money. I'm only taking it where it's supposed to be taken.
As a trustee or steward.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is tithe.
That is tithe.
Any income, 10% is tithe.
Yes.
And the Bible requires that we give it.
Yes. It is a command from God.
It's a command from God.
Yes.
You don't give, you have sinned.
Yes. That is true.
Good. I think our viewers understood.
That is true.
Let's talk about offering. Is it the same?
Now, offering is slightly different.
Yes.
Of course, it also comes from a willing heart to obey.
Yes.
God tells us that he loves a cheerful giver.
Yes.
Offering is not specifically an amount that God has stated.
Okay, it doesn't have a percentage like tithe. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Tithe is 10%. Offering can be any amount.
Okay.
And what determines that? It is your desire, the
your
desire
heart.
in your heart.
Yes.
What you would want to give to God based on whatever God has done for you and also for the support of the work of God.
And so I've given, I've been given this gift of 10,000.
Yes.
And so 1,000 is tithe. There is no discussion.
Yes, belongs to God.
But now I'm remaining with 9,000.
Yes.
And I'm so touched.
Yes.
God has been good to me this year.
Yes.
This year has started well.
Yes.
And I say, no, let me be kind to God's work. I can give 5,000 of the 9,000.
Yes, you
I can give the entire 9,000.
You can give it all.
I can even give 500 out of it.
Yes.
That is offering.
That is offering.
I am moved by my heart.
That by your own heart.
Yeah.
And how the Holy Spirit speaks to your heart.
Yes.
Based on the need that you have seen and the desire to support.
Based on the needs. That means I
Yes.
look around the church.
Yes.
And I say, where our preachers sit is not decent.
That is true.
But now that God has blessed me,
Yes.
let me buy seats
Very true.
for the church.
Very true.
Or I look at the equipment for Holy Communion.
Yes.
They are aging.
Yes.
Let me fix that.
That is wonderful.
Or I look at cracked windows.
Yes.
Let me fix that.
Or the
That-
PA system.
Or the
is
PA system.
malfunctioning. Let
Yes.
me repair it or buy more.
Or you hear that the church programs are struggling because we don't have enough money.
Yes.
So you give towards the church budget.
Very true.
And so you give.
You support.
Now,
Yes.
our viewer only knows one thing. He puts the money in the bag. That's all. From there, where does the money go? The deacons carry it up front there. There is a song, there is a prayer. And that's the last time we see of our money. Where does it go?
First of all, I really thank God because God's people are always faithful.
Yes.
They give, and after that, even though they may have not known how it is distributed,
Yes.
so long as they have given.
Yes.
The process is very simple. After the giver and the one who is donating has put it in the bag,
Yes.
from there, of course, it is counted,
Okay.
well receipted, so that
Yes.
everyone gets a receipt.
Yes.
And then the money, the entire tithe that we
Yes.
have been talking about.
No, before we go there,
Yes.
we need to emphasize to our viewer
Yes.
that the process is accountable.
Exactly. Everyone has to get a receipt.
Once the money leaves the prayer point, after the prayer,
Yes,
we need more than one person to count.
you are very correct.
And viewer, I'm pausing here to tell you, if in your church only one person counts the offering, there is a problem in that church.
That is true.
And if you are a treasurer listening, that is sin. It is wrong. It's not accountable for you alone, one person,
Yes.
to go and count the offering.
Very true.
Anytime offering is collected,
There must be witnesses.
there must be witnesses counting for accountability.
Very true. Very true.
And so we recommend probably we can have an elder,
An elder is there,
a
another deacon.
Yes.
Yes, and then
The treasurer.
himself.
So they go
That's the
and assist with the
minimum.
counting.
Very true.
Yeah, you cannot just go there and count money by yourself and come and report.
We work with trust, yes.
Yes.
But when it comes to that, it's good to have witnesses for accountability.
And make it open.
Very true.
Because you don't want people doubting you, our viewer, that probably some of the money disappeared because you counted alone.
That is true.
So for your own good as treasurer,
Yes.
for your own good as deacon and elder, please ensure that there are people present to
Yes.
assist. Yes.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And so you say that once it is counted, they establish how much is tithe.
Yes.
And they establish how much is offering.
Yes.
Then what do they do to the tithe and what do they do to the offering after counting?
Okay, first of all, on the point that you mentioned,
Yeah.
after they have counted,
Yes.
they will have to do a receipt.
Yes.
And every member will need to receive a receipt to confirm
Yes.
that what they gave
Yes.
has actually reached
Yes.
the treasury house of God.
Yes.
Then after that, the way you have asked, when they have counted, they have determined that this 10% from the members is this much. The tithe goes to the headquarters that we call a conference.
Aha. So it doesn't stay in that
It
local
doesn't
church.
stay in the local church.
It is taken.
Taken to the bank account of
Yes.
the conference.
Yes.
Conference, as we may know, is the headquarters that is a collection of so many churches.
In a territory.
In a
They
territory.
have their local headquarters.
Headquarters,
In some places we call them
fields,
In some places we call them conferences.
conferences. Yes. So all tithe
Is
is
taken,
taken there.
as it is.
as it is. Nothing is touched.
No
whatsoever.
cent remains behind.
You're right. You're right.
Then what happens to the offering?
The offering,
Yes.
according to the guideline that we have right
Yes.
now, for the sake of supporting the work at the local church and also across
Worldwide.
the world,
Yes.
is split into two.
Okay.
So 50% of the total offering
Stays in the
remains
local
in the
church.
local church
Yes.
to support the church budget and the church operations. And 50% is taken also to the conference. 50% of the entire offering amount
Yes.
is taken to the conference to support the whole world now.
So it's
Yes.
getting clear that once we collect the money,
Yes.
we divide it into tithe and offering.
Yes,
At that time, we have witnessed the counting.
you're right.
we have receipted for everyone who gave.
Yes.
But now we need to mention that for the money to be receipted, you must have put it in an envelope.
You're correct.
Because
Very
if you
good.
just throw in money,
Yes.
I mean, whose money will we know? It's
Surely.
difficult to receipt.
Very true.
So we need to use envelopes.
It is very advisable to have an envelope,
Yes.
so that you can specify your intention as a giver
Yes.
may be fulfilled. If you
Aha.
wanted to have it as tithe because you know your income,
Yes.
it will be treated as tithe.
Yes.
If you give it as general offering, you just deposit it in the bag,
Yeah.
the likelihood of it being treated as general offering is very high.
Very high.
Yeah, because
So your intentions must be put in the envelope.
very clearly.
And the envelope is free.
It is free of charge.
You don't need to buy the envelope.
You find it in the church, you have not seen any, you just ask for it, they
Yeah.
will give you. Yeah.
And now, once we have the tithe and offering counted by the church leaders,
Yes,
they take the entire tithe to the conference, the
Yes.
church headquarters.
you're right.
Then they take the entire offering and divide it into two, 50%, 50%.
Yes,
50% stays to develop that local church
You're right.
for their budget in that
Yes.
church, the church where you are worshiping.
very true.
Then the other 50 goes to the conference.
Yes.
Now let's talk about this money in the local church. What can it do in the local church? This 50% that remains.
Wonderful. This 50% that remains in the church supports all the operations of this local church.
Yes.
So what we were describing earlier,
Yeah.
the repairs that need to be done in the church for the church building, the programs, the
For
departmental
various
programs.
departments, yes.
like children ministries,
Yeah.
women ministries when they go out for community service,
Yes.
the budget of speakers when we are inviting speakers, maybe probably we need to support them little in their transportation coming. Yeah, all those operations, even
Yes.
feeding the church members occasionally when we have a potluck. Yeah, all this can be done if God's people supported that kitty well. So that,
So knowing that 50% of your offering will remain,
yes,
I think it is wise that you raise your offering amount so that what
Yes.
remains in the church
Yes.
is also significant.
exactly.
But there are
exactly.
people who have tendency, Brother Jared,
Yes,
where they give a big tithe. Then offering, they look for loose change
yes, surely,
and they just throw it to God.
surely.
Is not right.
It is
No
not
wonder
right.
the local church struggles
Yes.
because the giver was not generous in
Yes.
their offering.
You're right.
While we are faithful in tithe, we
Yes.
must be generous in offering.
In offerings also.
So it does many things in the church.
You are very
But
correct.
that budget of the church is decided not by the elder,
Yes,
not by the pastor.
you're right.
It is the church board.
It is the church board,
Uh-huh.
the group of leaders in the church.
And they take it to the business meeting.
To the business meeting, the members again approve that budget.
Now viewer, I don't want you to miss this. Our associate treasurer of the union here is saying big things that can help run your church and my church. He is telling us even the budget that runs your church, you need to ensure that it is decided not by one person.
Yes.
It is
yes,
not
of
the
course.
pastor who comes and say, I want a toilet here. I as pastor, I want new tables. I as pastor, I want... No. The leaders come together,
Very
look
true.
at the needs of the church.
Very true.
And after looking at the needs of the church, they say, let's prioritize this.
Very correct.
They create a budget. Then they will bring to the business meeting, that's the whole body of Christ,
Yes.
and say, this is our budget this year.
Is it okay?
Is it okay?
Yes.
And then the people will say, that is our budget.
Very true. Very
Can
true.
you tell our viewer why it is important to stick to the budget?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It is quite important to stick to the budget. The reason being, it will guide you in prioritizing, just as you have said. It will help you in not making unnecessary expenses. There are some times you may want to spend on things you feel are important. You feel are important, yes,
Yes.
but are not urgent.
But they are not a priority
They
for
are
that
not a
matter.
priority, yes. There are those things that are important
Yeah.
and urgent,
Yes.
and those that are important
But
but,
not
not
urgent.
urgent.
Aha.
Yes. So when you have a budget,
Yes.
it will guide you to prioritize
Yes.
and to stick within the means that you have.
Yes.
Because if you have managed to get a specific amount of offering,
Yes.
a wise leader would want to spend only within your income
Yes.
and meet the specific expenses that are required.
And a budget also gives control.
All right. Very
Yes.
true. Very
So
true.
that you don't go haywire with
Yes.
spending.
Yes.
And by February you have no money.
Yes.
And you still have a whole year
A whole
to run.
year to run. You're
Yes.
very correct.
And it also helps to balance the work across.
That is
You don't put all money in choir recording.
Yes, that is true.
Just because the pastor and elder love music.
Yes.
So all church money is in uniforms and CDs. No. We balance money Pathfinder, but we don't give Pathfinder all money.
Everything.
We give some to women ministries.
Yes.
Some. So a budget is important.
Very true.
How realistic should a budget be?
A budget should be able to outline all the activities of the church that need to be funded.
Yes.
And after you have outlined them,
Yes.
look at what is the specific need in each department.
Yes.
And then look at the finances that are available.
Yes.
And by the way, in the budgeting process, all those leaders also need to be there.
Yes.
That is when they mention the real figures
needs, yes.
that are required for that activity they have planned to be undertaken. They will look at the figures, then they will decide in real terms, what can we do and what can't we do. That's the only way to be real.
So that's how you go real.
Yes.
Now, in a local church,
Yes.
and we have more local churches than maybe... No, when I say local now, I'm referring to churches where we may not have so many people with so much knowledge in finances and what have you.
That's a fact.
We need to talk about the budget in the simplest way. A budget, I think, must show how much you may earn, you may get, how much offering is most likely to come.
Very true.
And this is the 50% that remains in the local church.
Which we need to work within.
Yes.
Yes.
And we say this year we expect 100,000 or 50,000.
Very true.
And then a budget does not only show what is coming.
Yes. It
also shows now where it will go.
How you will spend it. Very true.
And now you need to break down into the needs you have.
Very
and
true.
That's where the leaders come.
Yes.
And the choir people say we need a new uniform.
Yes.
And we put it there.
Yes.
The Pathfinder say we want a band.
Yes.
We put it there.
Yes.
And the children class say we need a blackboard.
Very true.
We put it there.
The deaconry want another table.
We
or
put it
chairs.
there.
We put it there.
And then now we sit and say we have more things than the money.
Yes.
As leaders, what do we do?
Very true.
Then we say, number one, we need to ask our members to increase what they give.
Very true. Very true.
And then we need to also cut down on some things and tell choir, you have 4 uniforms. Can you wait for another year?
Very true.
And then we tell the band, we can't buy all equipment
Yes.
for Pathfinder. Let's buy 1 drum.
Yes. Very true.
And now it balances.
It balances
And now
well.
we go through the year, everybody knows what will happen.
Very true. And everything that was necessary this year has been covered.
Has been covered.
Very true.
That is how it's supposed to be done. And it can be written on a simple paper
Yes.
and approved.
Very true.
So can this be done even in a church that is very far from town and everyone feels like this church is just our small, simple church? Can that be done?
That is very possible to be done.
Yes.
Because the simple issue would be,
Yeah.
did the treasurer record the income for last year? Because in many budgeting process, actually any budgeting process, all you need to know is how much did we manage to raise last year? What did we get in offering last year?
Yes.
That will simply guide you to project what you can get this year in simple terms. So if last year I got where the church received 100,000 in offering, then we would say this year there could be a likelihood that we may receive the same 100,000. So even in a local setup, so long as the treasurer can add and know that this year the members gave this amount, so he or she will just project and say, church members, this is what we may get this year. And then he uses that as the income to base all the expenditure.
Do you encourage each church to have a budget?
Yes, yes, of course. Actually, even if it is a local Sabbath school, that small church that was just opened,
they should have a budget.
They should have a budget. Operating without a budget is a recipe for failure.
And a budget is not complex, treasurer.
Yes,
I think we need to emphasize that. You need to tell our viewer.
Yes.
Just show how much money you expect.
Yes.
And how you plan to spend it. Full stop.
Simple as that. It is as simple as this, dear viewer. You would just decide and say, we have received this total number of offering this year.
Yes.
And you write it down there.
Yes.
You write it as offering income. This year, 2019, was this amount.
You can even write by hand.
Yes, by hand.
Yes.
Simple by hand. You don't even need a computer for this.
No, you just write it.
By hand.
You're saying we expect this money.
Yes.
You can call it income.
Income.
Put the amount.
Exactly. For the whole year, because in 2019 I got this.
Yes.
So probably in 2020 I will get this.
Yes.
And then the next step, list down all the departments in the church that are currently constituted and functional.
Yes.
List them down,
Yes.
which is also so simple. You have the elders, you have the deaconry.
All your church,
all of them.
You can even use the name of leaders. You know,
Yes.
you can say, oh, that elder is a leader for this. You put the title of, of the department.
Yes.
And then now, you call them in a meeting and ask them, what do you plan to do this year?
This year. Very good. You know, that will even help the leaders to be proactive, so that they don't slap you with necessities when they have
in the middle of the year.
Exactly.
Unplanned necessities.
You, as the treasurer or as the leader in charge of finances, you will help them to be proactive.
So by having a budget, Brother Treasurer here, what you are telling us is that a church will be organized.
It will be very organized. It will reduce a lot of commotion. Take for example, one of the leaders comes, the leader of the youth ministry comes in the course of the year and has come up with a very bright idea that has just come up, which he had not thought of. And he comes and says, this one will need 50,000, but you had not budgeted for it. And if they pressurize a lot, what does that cause? It may bring friction. So when you remind them at the beginning of the year and you tell them, do you know what? This year we need to plan our activities. All those leaders will think, and through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, will come up with all the activities they need to do. And with a tentative cost, what will it cost? And then they bring it to you and you put them in those departments, all of them.
Wow, wow, wow. Dear viewer, this is Baraton TV coming to you straight from the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. We are on one-on-one with our Associate Treasurer of West Kenya Union Conference, telling us the importance of budgeting, the process of collecting money from the local church. And we had reached the conference level, and we are also looking at how money is spent at the local church. And we are saying, if you have a budget, a very simple document, your church will be so organized, there will be less conflict, and you will achieve more.
Amen.
Thank you so much. And we are coming back to continue with him in the next program. Thank you. Baraton TV, here and hereafter.
Amen. Thank you.